Change that live, y'all. Hey, hey, hey. It's another
Hey,
Tuesday.
and we live.
It's another Tuesday. Hold on, we
What's
gotta
up,
we gotta
Tuesday?
change this layout because we done got cut off, so we're gonna have to leave
There
it
we
like
go.
that. Let's see. I'm playing with it to
Okay,
see. Here
that's
we go.
cool. That's cool.
There we go. So we got the old man, we got Gypsy, we got me and Benny. Old man is off camera. He might grace us with his presence after a while. We'll see. But we're live for another Tuesday, and today I feel like we might have a little bit of deeper conversation, because we talk about sex a lot. Today we're gonna talk about us and mental health, and then we're gonna answer some of these shots y'all fired with these comments that y'all was barraging me with after last week. Y'all don't have to stand on my neck like that. That's all I'm saying.
What they saying? What they saying? What they
So
saying?
listen, what had happened was, old man came for me, and I had to fire back. He said it ain't no. Now y'all, forgive me because I don't remember how we got to that point. But we were talking about relationships and, whether I stand on the mountain that says sometimes we have to be able to say no. No matter how much we love a person, no matter how much we like a person, sometimes we have to say fucking no because we have to prioritize our well-being, right?
Right.
Whether it's for our best good or we're concerned about the person we love, right? Sometimes no is the best thing that you can do out of love, compassion, and consideration. Don't enter a relationship with them. Don't get married because we need to prioritize well-being. So I shared that I've had multiple proposals through the years, and there were times when I recognized, I'm in a place where I feel like I can do this. I can engage with this person. I can exchange energy and be balanced with this person. And there were other times when I had to acknowledge that, no, try to do what you ain't got it right now. You need to go on and take some breathers. You know what I'm saying? He came for my neck, Benny, and he was like, that ain't no flex. I said, hold up.
Then he said, wait. What he said about, well, you trying to say that only one person in your past was worthy your ex-husband?
Oh, right. Then he tried to say, well, he's the only one you respected. I said, that's not true. He said, but you married him. I said, again, that had less to do with not loving other people and loving him more or respecting him more, and everything to do with my self-awareness to recognize in that moment I was ready. You know what I'm saying? And so he tried to put me on the carpet, and it just so happened he said, so any of your exes watching this? I said, yep. He said, I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say. I said, no, say it. It is what it is. They watch.
Well, you did say they were exes.
They were exes, right? They watch. It's up to viewer discretion. So it did happen that one of them was live at the time that he was talking, and they was watching. Maybe sweat a little bit, but I ended up asking that person. So that person had not proposed. We hadn't dated that long. But I ended up asking them, hey, random question, but you're watching this, you hear what he's saying. Because I felt like he was trying to imply, y'all be out here handing out rings like it's TikTok candy. Like, she get one and she get one. She got some nice ass and tits. I'm going to get her one too. And I was countering and saying, no, I genuinely believe that most people are marrying because they want to be with that person. Whether it's a business arrangement, whether it's a love thing, whatever it is, they're marrying because they see more than just tits and ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my friend, and he was like, well, he was one of the people that I had said, I have to back out of this, not because I don't like you and I'm not interested, but I recognize that I'm not in a place where I can truly engage in this experience. I need downtime to take care of myself, come from burnout, like heal me. And he respected that. And so his response was, I told you when we ended things that if it was meant for us, we were going to come back together. And I'm still here. Like, I'm not dating anybody. I'm still here. If you should decide that you good with this.
So y'all can re-go together.
And one of the other things that he said was that, well, I'm going to ask the old man. Old man, what was that other thing you had talked about money and about, because you was talking about us being entertained financially.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right.
Hey, everybody, y'all be sure to go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead and call your friends. Go ahead and tell them to tune in because every week, like you said, we do have a great time discussing it. Now, what I will say this right here, Benny. Now, I don't just go after folks just to go after folks.
Came after my neck.
Here we go.
Now, Jazz was saying, I did tell him it's not a flex that a woman get proposed to. Men propose to women. Men see value in a woman, and that's who they want. They will do that. That's what men do. That's what we supposed to do. We see them, we pick them. That's what we want, and we go ahead and ask. Now, what I was also saying is this right here. That is not, it's not a flex to say that. We count marriages. Men will propose, but we count marriages. It only count if you go ahead and say, I do to him. I also said this right here. Women turning down proposals, but what women don't do, they don't turn down proposals from men who they respect or who they respect and they admire. They don't turn those proposals down. They tell those guys yes. Now, for a man to say, hey, to sit back and say, hey, I'm here for you if when you need me. I'ma wait. I ain't dating nobody. I'm waiting. Man, listen, dude, I'm telling you, bro, listen here, man. From one man to another man, bro, move on. Move on, man. Go ahead and get out there, enjoy your life, your wife. Man, move on. Don't sit back and wait on nobody.
That's the problem right there. See, that's the problem. We have too many.
Telling that man to move on, cause he's in the friend zone. Tell that man, release that man. Release him.
That's not what she said. And the problem is
I'm going about what you just said now.
Hold on, old man. This is what I was saying. The problem is we have too many unhealed men and women running from person to person to person without going through and doing the work and get healing. And that's the thing, is that when we say we're not ready and we sit back and say, hold up, let me get myself together first, because I don't want to bleed on somebody who didn't cut me. So let me do. But see, your advice is for him to run to the next person. He's not.
No, that's not what I said.
Hold on. Let me finish. He's not healed from her because he wasn't ready to go. She wasn't ready to stay. That's the difference. And so because of that, you can't tell him to just move on and go to the next person. That might be how you operate, but guess what? You're an unhealed person running to another person because stuff isn't right, or you're not, because that person's not ready yet, instead of just sitting still and getting yourself together and figuring out what's going on with you. Because guess what?
Hey, Jefferson, let me go.
Let
me clarify something real quick.
Vagina to vagina, person to person. This is why you have so many unhealed adults producing children that are traumatized. We should be, hey, friend, in the comments. Hey, Chandrita. Hey, Sharice. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Hey, JB. Hey, Miss Newsy. But we have so many adults that are like, they'll be fine. It was good enough for me. Instead of creating experiences that our children don't have to always do decades of therapy to heal from. And that starts with being able to say no sometimes. So it has nothing to do, I ain't gonna say nothing. It has less to do with respect and loving a person when you say no, and more to do with honoring where you are and understanding your needs to be healthy. I'm gonna die on that motherfucking hill because you got people jumping and never stopping and resting.
Now let me say this. Let me make a correction that on what was said from my point of view. Now I always said, keep in mind, because we kind of was jumping between conversations. I said that you have to heal. I also said any man, you remember, if you was with a woman 2 years, you need about a couple. I'm sorry. I said if you were with a woman 5 years, you need a couple years to recover. I said if you was there with 10 before.
Now you sound like you're in the matrix.
Oh man, you're breaking up real bad. Can you hear us?
Okay. Hey, I'm outside. I'm I'm walking in, so
All right,
I'll be in
I'm
that
gonna
shirt.
mute you. I'm gonna mute you. You just come back in a minute. Well, actually, he said
Okay.
he's walking. I'm gonna move you out. And at the end of the day, I think you and I are saying the same thing, Gypsy. What we're promoting, and that's the topic of tonight's episode, and why we're going to talk a little bit more about ourselves: mental health, well-being, wellness. Now, I'm all about if you want a friend with benefits, baby, get your thing on and do what you do.
But make sure, wait a minute, but you got to make sure
Responsibly.
you're in the right mental space to
That's why I
do
said
that.
responsibly. Because responsibly don't just mean putting a sheath on it and putting, using the condom and birth control. Responsibly means emotionally being able to show up to the table, mentally being able to show up to the table, financially being able to have, connection and be equally yoked, right? Spiritual
And
beliefs.
everybody can't be that way either.
Right.
And everybody, and know yourself, and to thy own self be true. If you know you are not the one that can lay down and go and see him at the store and keep it moving,
boom,
then
let it go.
Might not be the move for you.
Let it go. You feel me?
That might not be the move for you, because everybody's not built the same way, and everybody can't have that emotional disconnect.
Exactly.
If you can't have that emotional disconnect, friends with benefits is not for you.
Yes, sir.
Because
and we also have to be able to have adult conversation, because you may have a disconnect in the beginning, but feelings changed. I'm convinced that men and women, because a lot of people say men can do it easier. Maybe they can, maybe they can't, but we all catch feelings at some point, right? Whether that be love or general caring. At the end of the day, we have to be able to have those grown-up conversations when feelings change as well. You get me? So that we can acknowledge, hey, it's either time to move this forward and progress it into something deeper, or let's put a pin in it and stop it, so people ain't getting their feelings hurt, not their keying cars and busting windows out the car and doing all kind of manner of stupid shit. You know what I'm saying?
And don't think that because you put it down in the bedroom, he gonna change his mind.
Right. Exactly. Hey, old man.
How you doing?
So before we
yeah, that's true.
Hold on, Tanya. Let me put this up on the you can only do that with ones you don't really like or be attracted to. Now, I'm gonna kind of agree with you on that, because the more you like them, the more you're attracted to them, I think, and the better the sex is. Let's be honest about that too. Those feelings are gonna deepen, and they're gonna deepen quicker. And y'all both may be feeling it, or one more than the other, and we got to talk about it so that we don't end up with a fatal attraction. You know what I'm saying? Or people having breakdowns and all that kind of stuff. And then Cherie said people have to realize when they need professional therapy.
Yep.
Yes. We're gonna talk about that too.
That part, because
talk about that too.
The other thing is address your childhood traumas, because a lot of these traumas are birthed from childhood traumas. You'll have attachment issues. How do I know? My therapist told me I have attachment issues. You'll have attachment issues if you don't address that unhealed childhood trauma. You gotta fix it. If you don't address it, it's going to consume you.
Yes, all of that. Because at the end of the day, again, this comes down to conversation, right? If we don't have open, honest conversation, we can't expect people to figure out how we feel through osmosis. Ain't nobody walking around here with a whiteboard trying to write all this stuff down and figure it out through geometry and metrics. We need to have open dialogue, open communication to figure out where we are, what we need. Also, with that's why I say it's a deal. It's a negotiation. At the end of the day, two people have to come together and sit at the table. What are your must-haves? What are your deal breakers? What are your non-negotiables? What's your gray area? Figure those things out on both sides so that you can come to the meeting and realize this ain't working, or it's working, and let's go deeper. But now that old man has made it, we're going to backtrack just a little bit. We're going to tell you more about who we are and why all of you guys are doing this with me. Hey, why y'all are doing this with me. And we've already started weaving mental health into the conversation. That's the biggest topic I want to talk about tonight, because sex does involve and impact our mental health, and our mental health does involve and impact our sex life, right? So, Rodney, since you're just sitting on my end, we can work left to right, and then we'll shoot it around to you, Gypsy. Kick us off and tell us a little bit about who you are, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, and why you are on here doing this with me.
All right. I'm Rodney Williams. I am a photographer. I meet so many people, and I deal with a lot of people. And the one thing I tell folks is through my life experiences, I may not know a whole lot of things about a lot of different things, but I know people and I understand people. I enjoy meeting and communicating with people, all different eras, all different walks of life. My profession, I'm an administrator, public school administrator. And so I deal with I have a passion for kids. That's one thing I do not play about is children. I'm always trying to look out for their best interest, and that's why it shapes the way I think people should relate with each other, is to be in the best position to be able to raise kids. That's why I'm so big on the family structure, simply because I'm big on the family being strong to be able to raise strong kids. So, but I take fantastic photos. So you guys reach out to me. Hey, hit me on Instagram, Rodney Williams Photography, and you get yourself that Rodney Williams Photography experience.
All right, we'll make sure that information is in the episodes. If you need to get in contact with him, hop up under the video if you're on YouTube, and I'll try to remember to hop over onto Facebook as well and put it on there so y'all can link up with him if need be. That being said, I'm J Bay. I am, I guess, the originator of this SIP podcast, Sex, Intimacy, and Power. And this is a conversation I've literally been having for about 25 years. Now, here's the funny part, and it wasn't funny then, it's funny now. So literally like 25 years ago, I used to work it was a nursing home on one side, rehab on the other side, right? So they was either coming with us if they couldn't be by themselves anymore, or they were coming to us after surgery and major injuries to get back on point to go home.
Oh, they kind of
that, yeah, what? I did end up working in some rehabs, but not at that point. So there was this particular young man. He was in his, I think, late 50s, maybe early 60s. His wife she had either died or divorced him. It was something. And his family didn't like him. He was mean, old, and bitter. So nobody wanted to deal with him. He was in the nursing home. Everybody hated him. He was one of those that make you want to suffocate his ass, right? Because he was always cussing people out, calling them out their name, just carrying on. Well, at some point, I was in his room one day giving him a bed bath. And, he was talking to me. He used to like to try to turn it into a little something. So you had to be on the P's and Q's, stay on your toes, right? So I'm giving him a bed bath, washing his penis, and I hear something go. I said, well, wait a minute. I ran and got the nurse because I did not understand what was happening. Long story short, he had a penile implant. His penis was fine. But that was one of the reasons he was bitter, as he finally told us, because he had gotten the penile implant for his wife because she complained about his size, and then she divorced him. She still left him. So that's right.
And all that equipment.
All that, you know what I'm saying?
So he done said that made his dick out of Android. And still got left. Optimus Prime penis.
He had a reason he stopped at that point.
Right.
Because I imagine it was not comfortable to go through that process, right? But so that obviously, I was 19 at the time, and that obviously was kind of an uncomfortable moment for him and for me. And for everybody on the staff once they found out it was a penile implant, because it just changes the narrative when you're trying to do all these things. So I realized at that point how important sex was, not only to understand pleasure, but the physical anatomy to be comfortable having conversations that we find uncomfortable, right?
But I feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think that you got to be a hell of a woman and man that's united together for your old lady to tell you, I ain't gonna even lie to you, Reggie, your dick look cool, and I ain't happy. Even
I'm with you where you're right.
Like for real, like out of all the comments, that's just like if a guy tell a woman, she be like, how's my sex? Well, I ain't gonna lie, the pussy kind of sour for real. It's kind of dry, and I really don't enjoy it, but I'd work with it because I like you. She's not gonna really be, she ain't gonna not be not happy with him, but she's not gonna trust it because she know he's unhappy with that end.
Right.
So I think a lot of people would not necessarily lie. It's in the lie family, but it's more so of the fabrication of.
You want to soothe
that. Yeah, you putting sugar on shit and calling it a snip.
Or lipstick on the pig.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
it's like I can understand that because, like, for real, every woman thinks she got some good pussy till somebody tells her she don't.
Well, every man think he got good dick
dude,
until somebody tell me
every
dog.
dude, I'm sure, think he got good penis unless a woman say, "Hey man, I know you humping hard, but I don't
But
feel
women
shit
been
for
doing
it."
it forever.
That'll kill it.
Now the
That's
kicker
the option.
part
That'll kill it.
so the kicker part about that, before I get back to telling you who I am, is I've had, we were not dating, it was a friend with benefits at one point, right? He was aware that his size was
Problematic.
Nigga, Gypsy came
We-
up with something
You gonna
quick.
either be on one end or the other end. 'Cause
we're gonna say it could leave something to be desired. Now, to his credit, what he had done was develop other skills. We're gonna leave that there.
All right, well, let me ask you this
Yeah.
before you go too far.
Okay.
Before we go too far, just to kind of throw this little additive in there. Add this additive in there. With a woman, what would a woman consider too small?
Well, for his
No, not nobody person.
no, this
But I'm saying just generally
I'm
speaking.
just saying as an example.
Yeah.
His was a nice length.
If you talk about it thin and I can't tell, it's too small.
Right.
You say what now?
Pencil. Yeah. She said if it's thin and she can't tell, it's too small. And that's what some men do. Because I don't want to say a lot of men, but I've encountered one and I've heard a lot about it. That sometimes the length is fine, but the girth, right? The width is not as pleasing. So those men typically have to, and we done got way off left, right? But those men typically have to use them hands and that mouth and maybe toys to make it more pleasurable for her. Because size, I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna stand here and tell you, size does matter.
Well, let me ask you
does.
this.
Just like a woman's size matters.
But couldn't that be a problem too? Like, I know guys be talking about toys. I've heard about that. I even heard women mention that. But I think the average guy will probably be offended if y'all having sex and then she bring out a whole dildo. She just bring out a whole dildo because she's really indicating to you that, bruh, it's okay, but I really need a little bit more stimulation.
Well, no, because some people like
Yes.
multiple holes filled at one time.
No, they ain't
Some
trying
people
to
like
do
the
no-
vibration.
Some like you can be thin meat and be alright to a dude, but they can't. If she made him swap holes, that means you wasn't giving her enough of what she wanted. Which means that even though she got the toys and stuff now, at some point she's gonna cheat on you.
I don't agree with that.
You don't have to.
Because I've heard some
But I'm
women say
telling you,
they liked it.
It's great, but I'm telling you, when women around here getting toys, a woman would really prefer to have a man
Now there are some women who don't like sex. So,
with a tongue and lips and hand and grass before she buys some
I agree
goddamn
with that.
triple
but
A
you know what?
tea battery.
There are some women though, Benny, that don't like sex, and so they're okay with them.
What is
Lust the pee-pee.
what is Gypsy?
I met a few people that are asexual.
and that goes back to what I said.
I ain't one of them, but I met
that
some.
guy.
No.
They not attracted to that
No.
guy. And I guarantee you, there's a woman that I'm sure that there's every woman. And I'll tell you what, ladies, you can just chime in if you agree.
Tell us in the
There
comments.
is some guy. I'm pretty sure there is some guy that you did that one night stand with, or you just you done had that fantasy fling. There's some guy that you done did that thing with, and you have done more than you have done it with anybody else.
Okay.
That's that guy.
So what I'm gonna ask y'all to do, tell us in the comments. I'm gonna catch up on these comments real quick. I'm gonna get back to telling you who I am. I'm gonna kick it to business so we can get through that part. Take this moment to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, and get in the comments and answer old man's question. Then we're gonna get up in this WhatsApp chat where I posted all y'all responses from last week, because old man, they was giving it to you.
I like them questions.
So Tanya Davis, you said the things we do for love, baby.
Like what, Tanya?
Tell us in the comments.
Tanya, what would you do that would be so strange and unusual for love to put sideways laughing?
Miss Lucy said, how many women get BBLs because men tell them they don't like their ass? And that's a true statement.
She got that BBL for her.
That's a true statement.
Men don't ask for that.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. BBL and titties. At first, they was getting titties back before going to get implants and stuff till them bitches started exploding. Then they start putting them in their ass. Well, if they explode in your chest, why would you put it in your ass?
Help them get sit up. Help them get out of their seat.
Tell us in the comments, do you think women are getting BBLs for men or for themselves or to impress other women? Tanya said men have no shame. They will send you dick pics on top, and they will without you asking. And will take them to you, will put them on Facebook, Instagram, and anywhere they think they can get it to you, they will send it.
Out of all the things I hear that we talk about, that's something I've never, ever did in 44 years.
Well, that's good because it's plenty on that wheel.
But the thing is,
it's a bunch of men out here right now that probably are sending enough for you and old man.
Yeah, old man. And everybody
and send everybody the same.
Well, I mean, but the thing is, I ain't never liked nobody enough to say, I'm finna send you a picture of my penis. Because one thing about it, what happens when you don't like me no more? Well, you're going to be on some shit like the Flip podcast where they're talking about your ass sending dick pics on soft. No, he ain't going to get that.
You wind up in the group chat.
But unsolicited dick pics, we don't want them. We don't
want them. Now, if y'all are together, y'all done shot a little video or something. That's different.
We talking about unsolicited. I ain't asked you. You just sent me a hey on Facebook, and then the next thing you know, you sent me a dick pic on sauce.
They jump right to it, don't they? They be like, "How you doing? Why you single?" Dick pic, like for real.
But and to their credit, and to their and I'm gonna get them props on this. The reason why they do that because that shit doesn't work too.
Somebody.
It doesn't work.
They fishing.
Yeah,
they send it to 100. They may send it to 100 people, and let's say 4 or 5 of them may respond and give them the action that they want. So guess what? They're gonna send it to another 100. You're not gonna stop them.
Those ain't good odds.
Yeah, I mean,
those are not good odds.
You get a little
he's out on the internet. Those are
not good odds. Oh, let me tell you something. If I can do send out 100 and I get 5 out of 100, hell, you better believe I can send 100 an hour. That's great odds. That is great odds. Do you realize how many approaches a man would do to a woman before he get a woman to say yeah? I used to sell real estate. I knew for every 100 people I would talk to, I would get 1 customer out of every 100. You know, when a person told me no, you know what I said? Good. That's number 68. or I remember one time I got real excited. Why you excited? I just told you no. You number 99. You number 99.
Chandrita said, "Lackluster PP is sad, baby. That's to make you cry."
Unless he paying your bills, unless he paying that house note, that lackluster, you better make it.
I pay my own bills. You was around to wet my ass. If you can't do that, you got to go. I can pay my own bills.
You said what to your ass?
Oh, wait a minute.
Wet up.
Oh,
yeah. But the thing is, though, it's like this here. A woman that's really interested into a man physically and vice versa, they tend to kick it a little longer, even if it's toxic.
You're going to work through it and talk through
it. And even if you can't work through it, you'll be there for the sex. Because one thing about finding, like all these people say, all these women available, all these men available, really it's not. You still got to find somebody that actually match you. Because you can have sex all day, but do you have a person that just actually satisfy your hunger like a snicker? So, and a lot of females don't, and a lot of males don't. Sometimes we are being tolerated and think we fine. But a lot of times we just being tolerated because the person they want, is he or she, is not available.
Or they think they're holding on to you because they think they're not good enough for you. You the catch. So they're going to hold on to you even if you don't meet the needs.
But that's the thing. That's the placeholder. Again, mental health, unhealed traumas.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go ahead and go through these comments. Tanya said, hollering, swapping hoes. Listen, that's why.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of them be doing it, okay? Chandrita said, thin meat. Listen, like
right.
Cherise said, it depends on what size because I don't need no mandingo. No, I don't need you in my rib cage, blowing out my back, knocking down walls, all that stupid shit that people be saying. We don't want it. Blowing my back out, sending me to the doctor. No, because we want to be healthy, right?
Yeah, don't be tearing my stuff up.
Sharice said he could be average and I will be okay. Right. Most women are okay with a 5, 6, 7, maybe even an 8-inch penis. We don't want a damn 11 and 12-foot penis.
I don't want, I don't want something that's gonna make me regret every morning after. Every morning after I can't walk, I can't pee, and I feel like I need to go to the doctor. No, like I done had damn surgery. No.
Shantrita said, y'all faces are priceless. Listen, I ain't got no poker face. I know this.
Right.
She said bigger does not always mean better because they can still be slanging it and not know what to do with it. I'm with you.
Exactly.
Tanya said women getting BBL's attention for men.
Hey,
I'm with
you.
I'm with you. I'm with you when you're right.
I respect what Tanya is saying, but honestly, I think that
it's to draw the attention.
They do it for themselves and to show out on other bitches. And I'm gonna tell you why.
I know for self too, but I still think more men than women.
Nah, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because in order to get for all these women to be built the same from a surgeon, that means that if somebody you look and said you like how they look. So when that doctor surgeon
some man said that to them.
What kind of duke you want?
No, some man said that to them.
I think it's the man.
Some man said that to them. They saw some man look at some dunk like that, and then they said, "Oh, that's the one I want."
Right, because there are more. We have to look at it. There are more men doing the surgeries and how they do it.
Oh, y'all freezing.
Oh, here we go. Y'all, we got bad weather here, so bear with us. But I had a breast reduction 4 years ago, right, to reduce back. Men look at our bodies differently than we as women look at our bodies. So I intentionally wanted a man to look at it because I wanted them to look good. When I look in the mirror, I didn't want them to be lopsided. I didn't want them to be jacked up. I didn't want the sutures to be crazy looking because I have had more women doctors. Now we good. I prefer women doctors. Most of them focus on the well-being. We want that. But I wanted a male surgeon because I wanted him to focus on the well-being, and I wanted to look at it and see that it looked good too. And that's what I'm saying about the BBLs. I think the men are shaping how these asses look because we have more men doctors, we have more male surgeons, and they're the ones doing. There's a friend of mine on Facebook right now. She works with a surgeon that does it. Everybody's ass look the exact same. I don't care what shape they are, what weight they are.
It's the same thing with a dentist.
But you gotta remember this too, though. When you're doing cosmetic surgery like that, they're giving it to you by CC.
Yep.
And you still showed him how you want to look. He's only that's just like if you say what I'm saying, you might have gave him autonomy to do what he wanted to do. And what he thought looks better. But most women
they go strictly off the weight. They're gonna take this much weight out because they want you to be pulled up and down.
Well, that's true, but when we speaking on BBLs, that's a surgeon that you say I want 600 cc or breasts. I want this and that. Now they may say, "Hey, this is past the safe point," but you spending your money. It's still your choice. Right. So when those women get them, they saw other women and how they look, and they were like, "That bitch bad." So you got it now. Yes, you may want some attention from men, but you also going to places because most clubs now are full of women. You know, it's a couple guys. You show them, but in most cases, I'm better than this other bitch. I can get on my Instagram page.
It's not about that. It's about the attention from men. And a lot of, let me just say this, a lot of women have daddy issues. Yeah. A lot of these that you see that go in and get these enhancements and all these other things, find out how many of them had a father at home.
Well, I don't think
9 times
not having a father has anything to do with a woman want to be desired.
You're not a woman. It really does, because that is the first.
So I can't speak on women either.
Listen. Having a father at home does have a lot to do with it, because the thing is, that's the first man in your life. And if you don't have a father at home, that's the first male to reject you.
Yep. It really
and you spend the rest of your life seeking male attention.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick
and now I agree with that, because I'm going to tell you a little funny story.
Hold on. Let's get through the comments so we can get to the mental health.
Yeah, let's get through because I want to keep y'all on point. Y'all are showing out today, and I'm here for it. Keep the comments coming. Cherie said some men have big eggplants and don't know how to work.
That's
better
right.
preach. No, sometimes people ain't trying to practice. They just trying to bang it out and knock in the headboard. And that shit to get you kicked out and blocked. Tanya said, and if you send an unsolicited dick pic that is less than impressive, we share it with our homies, and we do.
So do and laugh.
We do. Just like they do. And I can give myself a wet ass. You better come on with the
same way, Tanya. Stop that.
I'm what you mean I'm talking.
You can't give yourself the same wet ass, Tanya. No.
Because we want y'all to pick us up. Now, and I ain't gonna say every woman, most women I know ain't trying to get their head knocked into no damn headboard. We want you to pick us up. We want you to freak us, hold us, show us you got a little aggression, a little masculinity, a little strength. But also don't fold us up like a pretzel if you ain't asked us if that's what we want. Like we going back to communication, right? Cherie said, I have to say that a big eggplant will not keep me around, especially if the relationship is toxic. And I'm gonna throw in that if you don't.
But a good one will. Now let me stop.
Good one will, baby. Listen, it'll keep
a
you too
good
long.
one will. I done stayed with some toxic shit for a good one.
For too long.
For too long.
He said, tear my stuff. I needed to sing when I pee, and I need to know you've been. Well, you know what, Tanya? Listen. I'm just gonna say, you better handle it, girl. You better ride it like a cowboy and bucket, okay?
Right.
Men will say you're cute, but you don't have no ass. Well, damn, that's kind of mean, but it is what it is.
Well, she honored today, though.
But even though, like, the thing is, though, women with no ass got a clientele. Women with big asses have a clientele.
Everybody got somebody.
Women with wide hips and kind of flat. No, all these women got clientele, even with big women, real skinny women. So when I hear about women getting enhancements, be honest with you,
I don't know, not the ones without good facial real estate.
You're shopping outside of your market. That's all it is. You're shopping outside your market. You looking for a Benz, but you got a hot dog budget.
Who?
You got my budget.
Who? They want caviar on a McDonald's budget, baby. Chandrita said, well, the woman sees the attention given by men, so they go for different stuff. Yes.
Again, yes, absolutely, Chandrita. Yep, absolutely.
Because I saw one yesterday. I literally stared because I was like, well, God damn. I mean, it just was obviously it looked like one of those diaper butts. It did not look good. And I had to catch myself like, you know what, face? Shut it down. Cherie said some to most of those BBLs are not physically in alignment with it. Listen, because if you got two pick thighs and an elephant ass, no. Also, I heard some of those BBLs be stuck. Dang. And some women can't work asses properly. I have heard that. And that's
I've heard that too.
And then their butts are too big. Now, what I'm gonna do is we gonna go ahead and finish.
What would I tell you? Y'all lighting them comments up.
Y'all eating it up today, baby. Keep it coming. Take a pause, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hop in the comments, tell us what you think. Okay. Now I'm gonna go ahead and finish introducing myself, Kiki to Benny, and then to you, Gypsy. That being said, that was what kicked off the little, you know what I'm saying, the little penile implant. He was fine, but that kicked off for me the spark of understanding. These are obviously conversations in my line of work that I'm going to have to be okay having. So let me study this. Let me get into this. Let me get comfortable with this. And that continued because I worked with a lot of people that had catastrophic injuries, whether it be brain injuries, stroke survivors, accidents that caused them to be paraplegics or quadriplegics, etc. And sex was always the thing. How am I going to have sex? How am I going to please my wife? How am I going to please my husband? How am I going to please my boyfriend, my girlfriend? Am I ever going to have sex again? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all know, if you don't know, you're going to find out now. I do have a mental health background. I used to be a therapist. I now operate as a wellness practitioner in my own private practice. And the reason that I created the SIP podcast, to come sip with us, the sex, intimacy, and the power. I actually started those conversations on Facebook, I think, in 2014, 15, somewhere along there, because I wanted to help normalize the conversation for us. I still talk to too many people in their 40s, 50s, 60s that have never truly felt what they could describe as an orgasmic experience with sex. They don't know if they've had an orgasm, or if they've had it that was so fleeting they couldn't do it consistently, or they believe that sex had to be painful for them as women. All these kind of things, right? Or that sex was more for the man. And I've dealt with a lot of men that thought all they had to do was jam it in there and just go to town like Jack the Rabbit. So these are conversations I've been having for a long time. And this podcast came about because I wanted to take us online again and again, create a space where y'all can ask questions. I don't care how crazy it sounds. I don't care how stupid it sounds. Message it to us. If you have something that you want to figure out how to get an answer to, click that form link. There's a Google form link right in the information on this video, and then every video on this channel. Just hop up underneath in the information section. You can go there. You can send us your information if you want to be a guest in the hot seat on camera, or you can do it anonymously. You don't even have to put your email in. You can send us anonymous questions and comments, and we'll answer them. Y'all be on my neck on these damn messages on Facebook. I'm gonna need y'all to leave me alone on Facebook because I don't want to miss them and y'all think I'm ignoring y'all. Please use the Google form and send them to me.
You got a Google form?
I got a Google form. It's in the information.
Right.
I never heard a nigga with a Google form.
And y'all stop messaging us during the show. Get your ass in the comments.
And then what y'all be doing, y'all be slick because they don't click in the video so you can't see them. They'll just scroll down and look at it so it'll go on autoplay. Y'all better stop being like that and get in these comments and talk to us. That being said, that's why we're here.
If I want to get to you and for mental health, how can I contact you if I want to get reach out to you for mental health?
Yeah, so I don't talk about that as much on here, but again, I do have a private wellness practice. We just hired another therapist. If you are trying to figure out how to connect with us, go to www.IamHealing1, all spelled out. It's the living affirmation. IamHealing1.org. You can email us at support@IamHealing1.org. Send us your questions, reach out, get help. We'll work with you to figure out the best way to support you. We have a couple of different options, but also make use of the content that we have. Join us on this YouTube channel, share it out. Join us on social media and connect and share it out, because every person that you help us to touch, we're helping to change the narrative and normalize this so that we can all be healthier. Because we as adults, and y'all know I'm passionate about this because y'all be seeing it on my face. We as adults should not be afraid to talk to the person we're fucking. Absolutely. Or that we're married to, or that we've been in a relationship for 6 months, 11 years, whatever. We should not be afraid to have these conversations. And I tell people all the time, if you are afraid to have these conversations, you chose the wrong person.
It depends on what it's about.
And that's why.
I think it's circumstance.
So let me finish that. Number one, you chose the wrong person, because if you choose a person that you feel safe and that person genuinely is safe, emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, spiritually, energetically, there's nothing that you can't talk about within content. Absolutely. Now, that don't mean you blurt shit out in the barbershop and in the middle of church on the altar. There's a time and a place for anything that you need to discuss, and there's a way to communicate it to try to lessen the offense.
I disagree with that.
Don't further traumatize people because your ass is traumatized.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's never a good time.
I cheated with
it is a way though.
We talking about that.
Now, but what I'm saying is, cause like based on what you just said, is that you should be able to talk about anything.
You should.
And you should. But I still say that a lot of time that's not a 100% for all. Because think about this: if a woman get with a guy, hear me out now. If a woman get with a guy and he has everything that she desires except a little bit of pee-pee, she would take him in a lot of cases because a lot of the other stuff outweighed that.
That's why she might want
and she didn't want to be shallow. No, the toys and all that ain't came up in this one. She should be able
to talk to you and tell you.
But listen to what I'm saying. From the beginning, if she would have told him that they wouldn't be together, but she'll take all those everything else and not want to say that because they don't want to seem like she's shallow either.
Right. But that's why there's a time and a place and there's a way.
So if
5
years from now and everything she got she wanted and she go to holler about his penis live, that relationship is dead.
But I would never say to him,
no. I wouldn't say to him,
can we explore?
But what I'm saying is, you're being technical and saying you're going to say that. But regardless of how you say it, it comes back to the same answer. And he's going to get some kind of way. Yes.
Not necessarily, because the thing is,
like to use toys.
Yes,
absolutely. You should be able to discuss that you want to use toys and that kind of thing.
Different positions, because different positions change the level of penetration, the angle of penetration, which can make even a smaller penis hopefully feel more pleasurable. Right?
See that word, hopefully.
Hopefully. But again, she should be able to talk to him.
40 cash.
But she should be able to talk to him.
25 was like a 40.
It ain't true that way. I mean, but I'm not saying that's the total issue. But I was saying, like, if she didn't say that because she didn't want to be shallow, but 5 years down the
But
line,
it ain't about being shallow. She should be able to express.
But I'm saying she shouldn't go to him. I'm not saying she need to go to him like, your dick small. But she can go to him and be like, baby, I want to explore other parts of myself. Can we get some toys? Can we try different positions? Can we try
have that conversation?
I just said
we're still being 100 though now. Without all
no,
that.
she is being 100.
But that is 100.
She is being 100.
But think about it. If you saying you got to talk to a person, you cannot put sugar on shit and call it a sniffer.
But that's not.
No, there's a way. There's a way to say that my needs aren't being met without saying.
Without intentionally trying to cause offense. I wouldn't. Now let's say I'll use me as an example. If I had a man and that was the only issue, everything else was great, and I loved him, I wouldn't go to him and say your dick small. I would go to him and say, baby, I want to explore other parts of me. Can we try different positions? Can we research and try some role play? Maybe get some costumes.
What if y'all done all that shit? And you did all that trying not to never say that.
We need some toys.
So that's what I'm saying.
Baby,
what I'm saying, but even with all the toys, it ain't nothing like Coca-Cola, the real thing. It ain't nothing.
Ain't nothing replace a real live penis. But at the end of the day, she shouldn't be, if he's feeling good about it, she shouldn't be subjected to 40, 50 years of lackluster dick. There should still be a conversation.
Watch this though. Let's add this enough. You know why she took him with all those good traits on the Liberty PP? Is because she been fucked over before. Yeah. So guess what? She was like, nah, I'm a little too old now to be talking about a penis and I got everything else.
Right.
But considering she's used to penis 5, 6 years down the road, she's like, this little dick ass motherfucker, him man, goddamn. And it started to get frustrated.
She still deserves to have, and that's why I said she still deserves to have pleasure. She may talk to him about, baby, give me more head, give me more cunnilingus. You know what I'm saying? Baby, let's try different sexual positions. Let's try dressing up. Well, if he's still doing all of that, I'm still going back to toys. It's okay to use toys if they help to address the size issue and give more pleasure. Come on here.
Now you can't just say
I like what Sandrina said.
Like that.
I like what
because of size, but she can still say she wants to add in to change it up, especially if they've been, you know what, we've been together for a few years. A little bit, you know, get a little bit more freaky with you, come out the closet a little bit more with you, give you deeper access to me. There's a way.
Well, there's a way. Now,
that's why I said context.
One thing I was saying is, we was talking about, you got to be able to say everything or be able to talk. Now, there are certain things that even a partner may feel or may want to do something that can be almost like out of the mainstream or what would normally take place. And that's where you get into the exposing different kinks and stuff like that.
Well, and this is why I'm saying conversation. So I have a lot of clients that are into the BDSM community. Yeah. I have a lot of clients that are polyamorous, that are in open relationships, thruples, all these different things. I've got a client right now that her husband got a girlfriend and she got a boyfriend. And at the end of the day, I don't think there's anything wrong with any of it. It's about having conversation because they didn't start that way when they got married, but it evolved as you get to know each other. You learn more about yourself. Again, this is why I advocate for people to have communication, because you shouldn't have to shut up and be silent and tolerate it if you're miserable, because that makes you resent them and yourself and destroys the relationship anyway, versus having conversation instead of it ending up in divorce. So y'all bitter for 50 years and kill each other like Water Roses. Y'all remember that movie? Now you have an opportunity to change the narrative and still be happy together if that's what you want to move forward and be happy aside from each other.
I do think there's some conversation should be happening. But I'm just simply saying that this right here, that's not an easy conversation.
It's not easy.
And that's not a conversation. That's why I want you to get to Chandrita's comment because of what he said.
Hold on. Tanya said if your peepee is too little, you're not even getting a call back. Damn, girl, you hard on them, and I'm here. Put them boundaries in place.
They may be glad to get that at first.
Put them boundaries in place.
I respect what
she is hard on them.
A lot of women have been in a situation where now they may be with 2 children, 2 baby fathers, or 3 children, 3 baby daddies. Then you've been looking at stuff what people will call shallow: cars, rims, money, clothes, or penis. So now you really got all that but that. If she got all that but that, now she might have been like, I don't want to be shallow. But that don't mean no memories come back. And she know after so long, you can't come to that man talking about that pee-pee look.
I wish I could like this comment 10 times.
I love this comment.
It may not be that you chose the wrong person, but maybe you don't know how to approach the subject. Sex has been a taboo subject. Some people don't even tell their doctors what's going on. So let me get back to where I was going with this. Let me get back to where I was going with this. And that's my point. You either, chose the wrong person, and I'm going to stand on that, because a lot of people, even once they do the therapy, even once they grow, they are afraid to go back to their person because they don't know that their person is going to hear what they're saying and respect it or be responsive to it. So number one, we have to do the emotional work on ourselves so we can choose better partners for ourselves that we are safe enough to grow with. Number two, we got to do the work. That's why mental health is a topic, if we can get to it tonight. Because at the end of the day, no matter how great our person is, if we can't rise up to that same standard and that same level, they're going to be great and we're going to be mediocre and toxic as shit. So both of us have to come to the table with well-being, wellness, and mental health.
And you have to be able to express your needs.
Putting handcuffs on me and lose the key. Absolutely not. Maybe a scar.
Right.
Like
that's what I'm talking about. But you got to be able to express that, hey, I want you to tie me up. Tie me up, tie me down.
Look, ain't nothing wrong with a little blindfold, handcuffs, whatever. But
a lot of time, a lot of time we end up with the wrong sign. People don't believe that you can end up with the wrong sign. So even though I'm gonna say Gyps, I may meet Gyps, she fine, she everything I like, but sign wise, it ain't gonna work. So regardless of what we try to do with one another, we're not gonna go to a certain point because I don't even like your ass like that, or it's not meant for us to miss. But at the same time, if you meet who you really into for real, that shit shows up almost instantly.
What?
You'll find yourself in that first week doing shit, most shit with them that you done deal with people in 2 years.
From chandeliers and shit.
Benny, I'm gonna kick it to you before I jump in these WhatsApp comments that I gave everybody. I'm gonna kick it to you. Tell us who you are, who you be, what you about, why you here.
All right, well, I'm gonna say this here, because I don't have long. I know this is a long week for me, but I'm glad to be on the SIP podcast with Gypsy, Old Man, aka Rodney, myself, comedic narrator Benny Mac. Who I am a person that was invited on this show that gives, I guess, some pretty decent commentary. She done had me to come back several times, so I get shit back. So glad to be here for that, and glad to even have an opportunity for somebody to ask me something like that. That means they got to be thinking a certain way about you to invite you to be on their shit. You know what I'm saying? And I love the topics. Those topics are topics that are not commonly discussed by the average person, and I enjoy it. Sitting here talking with Jim's freak ass, Jay freak ass, Rodney semi freak ass. I like talking to these folks and the people, the participants who comment. It actually keeps it going, because it lets you know that I ain't gonna say to me, I'm just a commentator, but people like this freak as hell and like to talk this shit. And there's a community of people out there that's for it. Yeah. And I'm a comedian for those who don't know, and I'm a damn good one. Not a fake, no, I'm lying. I'm a great one. And I produce shows. And I'm modest. I'm a professional barber. You know what I'm saying? So that's who I am. So hey, thank you for being on here. What up, Tanya? What up, Cub? Sandrita, what up, Cub? Shout out to Sarisa, that big cool head. I ain't gotta do big though. Shout out. Yeah. All right, my nigga love. Yeah, about that bit. BennyMac205.com.
Hey Ben, if I wanted to come see a show, what to see you perform, where can I see you at?
Well, one of the best spots is my website, and I do update my website myself. I ain't your average small ass nigga. I'm a Sagittarius, but I just don't put that. But I update my website myself, so it's gonna have shows where I'm at, because I host a start on between 1 and 3 times a month, but I also travel around the country with tours, concerts, and I do that too.
All right.
But you can go to BennyMac205.com. I bring that friend for a little money.
Gypsy, we're gonna kick it to you to tell us who you are real quick. We finally caught up with the comments, and then I'm gonna catch y'all up with these comments from last week.
All right, so I am Gypsy Blake. I am a writer, a poet, spoken word artist, all around entertainer. And Jay and I go back to when she lived in Atlanta.
In
Long time. Yeah. And before I did my play and all of that stuff. So yeah, we've been rocking for a long time. And I was invited on the show. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. She was in town and she was like, I don't have nobody be on this show with me. I'll do it with you. And we was in her hotel room and the rest is history. So I've enjoyed it. This is pretty fun. We have very entertaining shows. We start off, we always kick out a topic at first, and we expound from that. Yes, Tanya is my best friend. I've known her since we were 12.
Hey.
Yeah, she used to sit behind me in middle school. That's how we met. No, I sat behind her in middle school. Yeah, that's how we. Yeah, that's how we met.
Tanya?
Yes, so that is my very best friend. I also know Sharice. Sharice and I have been friends since 2009. So all my friends are in my circle for a very long time. And
what's your sign again?
I'm a Gemini. You know.
Y'all Gemini. Well, I ain't gonna lie, I get along with all the signs though, because I'm fat.
Tanya is a Taurus though, which is kind of, she just couldn't hang on them other 19 days so that she could be a real maybe. No, let's stop.
Is there any links or contact information you want to share before I take it back?
No, you can get in touch with me through the show. I will have a podcast coming up called Game, which is gripping a midlife experience, because I realized that there are no podcasts really out there that tie into us middle-aged Black people. Like there's the younger crowd and there's middle-aged white people, but there's not middle-aged Black people. And we have a lot going on. Some of us are, have aging parents with us, as well as, adult children. So there's a lot to discuss. We're the sandwich generation. Those of us between 40 and 65. So yeah, there is a lot to talk about. And sex, intimacy, and power is actually, the foundation of all of it, really. Because everybody, no matter who you are, no matter what your preference is, has sex, intimacy, and power issues.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. We're going to slip out with a pinky up.
All right.
So class. There you go. So much class.
So with that being said, we are the Sex, Intimacy, Power podcast. We are the co-host, the guest host, and all the things, because we show up every week to give you us, right? We give you raw emotions, real conversation. Y'all have seen us get hype with one another. One day, Gypsy was like, I said what I said. And I was like, I said what I motherfucking said. But at the end of the day, we all have respect for each other. We all know the power and the wisdom that each one of us brings to the table. And we make ourselves vulnerable to sit in these hot seats and go live and stream and talk about these things, because we all care for whatever our reasons, whatever our purpose is, whatever our, our thought processes are around it. We genuinely care and want to help continue to normalize these conversations. And a part of that is mental health. So that was the designated topic. We'll get to that in just a moment. I do want to give respect so that I can acknowledge there were some comments that were coming in, because there was a few of y'all, I done peeped y'all game. Y'all like to just scroll down till you look at the video and let it autoplay or whatever without clicking into it, so we won't see you. And then y'all be messaging me like, Jay, say this. I'm starting to y'all out my message box. But last week, y'all was sending me some stuff. Some of them I did get a chance to read and hear. The rest of them that I didn't. One said, I gotta say these comments next week because y'all on my neck. She said, I said no. This is going back to saying no to a relationship or to a marriage proposal. I said no because as much as I loved him, I wasn't willing to deal with his overbearing mama. And listen, this is going to be an upcoming podcast topic. I ended the engagement after proposing. Another comment. I ended the engagement after proposing because I finally accepted that I loved her, but didn't want a monogamous relationship. Boop, that's honesty.
Yeah.
Another person said, I turned him down because, yeah, I could see myself with him, but I wasn't ready to give up my freedom.
Mm-hmm.
That's powerful, and that's honesty. You feel me?
Yep.
One person said, Jay, you petty as fuck. I heard you when you said you would mute them, and I did.
Yep, she did. And I kept talking anyway.
I said, I will mute y'all. But she said, I'm here for it. I've had 4 proposals, and it's a beautiful thing to know that I was loved and appreciated in that way. I've said no each time. It doesn't matter how much I love or respect them. I don't want marriage. As you said, that's not the end game for everyone. Tell old man to be quiet.
Whoop.
Men ain't around here giving out rings and proposals just because it's in style. It is a flex to have been blessed with multiple great dating and relationship experiences where someone saw the value in wanting me as their life chosen person. Not everyone gets that or even gets a proposal at all.
That's a bunch of Pennsylvania.
And
Bunch of Pennsylvania.
And then she said, I meet women. I don't know. I think this was a different person. I meet women regularly who share that they've never felt love like that or been celebrated in that manner. No, I'm sorry. That was the same person. Michael, because y'all remember Michael and Q. There's some of the guest co-hosts that join us when they're able to. Michael said there's a lot of ancient people in this world. Why should they be celebrated? No,
wait a minute.
Your hand in marriage, then it's you not worth it.
And I had commented to Michael, but I don't know if you saw it. But what I had told Michael is somebody got to be ain't shit.
We need
because somebody got to be an example of what not the fuck to be.
Yes.
And somebody gonna be that mother.
And then here was a question somebody sent me. Now, if we don't get a chance to dive into it today, we'll talk about it next week. So I think, this was a guy. He said, Jay, can you share more on saying no or walking away even when you love them? I asked my lady to marry me. We dated for a while, and I thought the love would continue to grow. We had a child, and I wanted to do the right thing as well, to be there for her and the baby, give my baby girl the father in home I didn't have. I love her, but I absolutely was not ready. I feel confined. I'm guessing it's not about cheating or wanting someone else. I feel like marriage just may not be for me. And that's listen, this is again why I think we have to be able to be uncomfortable and have conversations, because that's a real ass answer and can prevent a lot of stuff if we're willing to say it to them before we walk down the altar or spend 5-10 years together to break somebody hard. I don't know.
And marriage,
because I'm gonna tell you, because after she says this, I'm gonna tell you guys, the thing is that me and my ex-husband, we were back and forth for about 14 years before we got married. And I just thought I loved his funky draws and was like ready, I thought that he was the one. But the thing is that the person you're dating may not be the same person that shows up in a marriage. And the thing is that in those 14 years, I had grown, but I think part of me was still in love with 26-year-old him. And it takes a lot to admit that, right? Because that was the other thing. Again, unhealed traumas lead you to being with people because of the fairy tale, not because of who they really are, but who you aspire for them to be. And that's the thing. It's not fair to them or you, because here you are putting them on a pedestal or seeing them in a light that they're not to be seen in, because they're really not that person. That's just the person you made them.
He wasn't able to hide he wasn't able to hide who he was for 14 years.
No, it wasn't that. He really didn't change. I saw him differently when we got married. I saw the real him. The him that I had been enamored with was not him. And the thing is that
later,
but the thing is, like, seriously, when we were going back and forth, the problem with people that go back and forth is that when they go back, they never really seem to remember the bad stuff, the reason why they left in the first place. And so when all you're highlighting is, and all your mind is thinking about is all the good stuff, there's a reason you guys didn't mesh. And because, again, remember what I told you about my therapist and attachment styles and what she told me. And because of my fear of abandonment, I wouldn't see those bad things and red flags. And that's why we all have to take time to get our mental health in order so that we can properly see people and not see them with rose-colored glasses and not see them and expect them to change, because that's another thing that I learned about myself is I was with him expecting him to change, and a lot of times men get with women expecting them not to change. And the thing is that we all learn and grow.
Well, like I said, I think a lot of people marry potential instead of reality. A lot of people date potential instead of reality. And we put those rose-colored glasses on, and we sit with our expectations and expect that person to leap into them, not acknowledging where they are. Here's the thing that I ask every single person that comes to me, client, student, friend, don't matter. When they come to me with a relationship issue, I ask them, if this person never changes, if they stay this exact same way and you got to deal with this problem for the rest of your time with them, can you handle it? Because you can hope that they'll change and you can do the work for them to change. But if they don't, can you handle this for another year, another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, whatever it is? And if you can't, then you need to figure out whether you're willing to adapt in some way so that you can, or whether you're willing to exit the circumstances. Because we can't stay with a person based on, well, if we do this and he becomes this or she becomes that, it'll get better, because it may not. And that's a lot of times why people end up bitter 5, 10 years later, a year later, 6 months later, because you gave them more time and they didn't change. So you have to ask yourself, if they stay the same, can I handle it? Let me throw these last 2 comments out before we segue to mental health. So one person said, I'm a dude, tell old man to shut up for reals with a Z. I ain't saying I'm assuming that's supposed to be hood, nigga, but I make 6 racks and I still ain't proposed till I met a girl that made me see everything differently. I had plenty ass and ain't mind spending when I was with them. She was different. I feel them on some dudes do be tricking and throwing rings, but not all of us. And then somebody said, "Oh,
listen, hey, buddy, and making 6 racks, you right. You are gonna get a bunch. You go, as he said, he go get a bunch of women making 6 racks. You'll catch you at making 6 racks. You in that upper echelon of income of a man. So you go stand out. Yeah, you go get a bunch of them. And I didn't say men throwing rings out just to get women. Hell, you don't have to throw a ring out to get a woman. All you have to do is be presentable to her, and what she likes, and that's what gets you a woman. Do not assume or think that I'm telling you men are proposing women to just to get them to go to bed. No, men only proposing to women. They are proposing to the women that they want. Women who respect that man, those are the women who say yes. If she does not respect that man, she gonna tell him no. Women do not tell men who they admire and respect who propose to them. They do not tell that guy no.
I'm about to bust your bubble and prove you wrong. I'm about to bust your bubble and prove you wrong. I loved him, but I did not respect him. I didn't even trust him enough to give him access to my money.
Did you marry him?
I married him.
I married him and respected him. He closed the deal. The deal was closed. Now you all didn't stay together for whatever.
I kept my finances separate.
Now, but I'm saying now you can say almost anything. This guy may very well not been a good person. I don't know. I can only go by what you said. So the fact that he made you wait 14 years before you guys married, I'll be honest, that's not
my idea. He made me wait and I didn't make him wait.
Right?
How you know he made me wait and I didn't make him wait? I had a house, I had a car, I had kids, I didn't want no more.
Listen,
I had a good job.
As I said before.
How do you know? No, you made an assumption that he made me wait. How do you know I didn't tell you? No.
You know how I know? Because women control access to sex. Men control access to the marriage, to the relationship. He asked you to marry him. You didn't ask him to marry you.
No.
years to
I
propose.
saw a bad marriage in my parents, and I didn't want to be married. You want to know why I married him when I finally did marry him? My mother was dying, and he asked my mother while she was in the hospice. And I didn't want my mother staying and hanging around, worried about me in pain.
Now, when it comes to talking about your mom,
No,
like
no,
really comeback.
no, hold on, because you made too many assumptions, so I had to check you, boo.
Yes.
Well, actually, what is since we're going there, I'll go ahead and tell the truth.
You made too many assumptions. You made too many assumptions because I had told him no several times.
Yeah.
I was content. I owned a damn house. I had several cars. I had a good job. I didn't need him.
Well, tell us why you stayed with him for 14 years before you said
I
yes. I mean,
I didn't stay with him for 14 years. Remember, I said we were off and on.
Okay.
We were dating other people at the time, and then we would come back together.
Just like y'all don't want it to make it, y'all don't want men to make it seem like y'all ain't got no options. Let's stop that lie or that mistruth, that misdirection that women don't have options. Women have options. You may not see it. You're a man. Just like you see things differently than we do, we see things and experience things differently than you do.
Women have a lot of options.
But you jumped to acting on assumption that he made her wait, and that's not always the case. A lot of times we as women are the ones saying no. We're the ones waiting for whatever our personal reasons may be. Whether it's prioritizing ourselves, we're trying to get through school, we're trying to start a job, we feeling them, whatever the reason may be. It's just as many women that have options to say no or wait as it is to say I'm ready or let's go. So let's stop the bullshit and making it seem like we do.
And at the time, I was an actor. Hold on. And at the time,
respect and love them and still say no. Go ahead, Gypsy.
At the time, my side hustle, I was an actor. I didn't want to be tied down to nobody, and I'm not a cheater. So I wanted to do me. And in order to do me, I needed to not be married. And yes, that is absolutely true.
Let me rephrase it. Not true.
And to this day, he still won her.
Not true. I stayed with the man 14 years. And I was the one who didn't want to marry him. I called out the engagement. Yes, again, let's, especially for Black women, let's stop perpetrating this mistruth or this misdirection that Black women don't have options, that Black men don't have love.
My comment is not toward
I'm not saying you. I'm saying Black women because that's the thing that we hear a lot of Black women that we don't have bullshit. Okay. We really do. Let me read these last two things and then I'll kick it back to you. The last two comments were astrology in all capital letters. Okay. Y'all feeling some type of way. Stop playing with us, Jay. We trying to be healthy and whole in these spiritual streets like you, boo. Okay, I promise y'all we got some more astrology coming because you was on me and Benny a couple of months ago about it. Me and Michael and Q talked about it. Y'all with this astrology, we're gonna bring it back. We promise. Oh man, why you not married?
And old man is divorced. Old man is divorced. I realized that you can't necessarily have both of them. So
did she leave you or did you leave her? It's a real question.
Just like 80%, over 80% of women file for divorce. Yeah. Just like hey, that's why. Hey, listen, I'm not saying I'm so unique or different. I have experienced this. That's why I can speak on this.
I do too. I don't know how old you think I am, but I'm 54 years old.
Well, I wouldn't have guessed that. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Okay, so y'all, we got about 10 minutes left because we don't went left, right, up, down, and sideways around the bushes. Let's talk about mental health real quick. The reason I am extremely passionate about mental health, again, I've been having these conversations since I was 25. I started in a nursing home / rehab, ended up doing in-home care for catastrophic injuries. I've been a fitness trainer while I was going to school to become a therapist. And I have my own private practice as a wellness practitioner. I literally have been having these conversations for 25 years. And we need to understand and respect the value that we have when we take care of our mental health, right? How do we feel in our bodies physically? How do we feel in our emotions, our feelings? Are we able to communicate them? Are we able to identify them? Are we able to process them and acknowledge them, to relate them to other people healthy ways in our experiences, right? Are we able to build thriving, healthy friendships? Are we able to build thriving, healthy relationships? Are we disgruntled or dissatisfied on our job, or are we happy on our job? Our mental health affects all of these things, how we have sex or don't have sex. Because if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if your mental health is in the shitter in the toilet, you probably not really having a lot of sex. And if you are just to please your partner, it's probably not enjoyable, right? Which makes you resentful. So y'all see some of the patterns of how mental health shows up in every which way. But when you're feeling good, baby, when that confidence is on 10, no matter how your body look, no matter how much you weigh, don't weigh, big, small, there's somebody that wants everybody. When you feel good about yourself, it changes the narrative on who you date. And it changes the narrative on how we have to operate in relationships, what we settle for, what we deal with, what we put up with, what we give. We treat people better. I think that's true. Most of the time when we value ourselves, it helps us to value other people.
Yeah.
Right. And then it's reciprocity, because when other people value us, it helps us to pour more value into ourselves. When we love ourselves, it helps us to love other people in healthy ways. And when other people love us, it helps us to recycle that and pour more self-love and give more love, right? So that's part of why I think that mental health is so important, because it literally branches out into every single area of our lives. And because this is a lot of the time about sex and intimacy, mental health affects that big O. A lot of times when you in depression and anxiety, and when your mental health is tanking and you struggling, baby, it's hard to chase that elusive O. You can't get there.
Right.
Mental health to get you there more often than not. And it gives you the confidence to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations that we've been talking about, right? It gives you the ability to say no when a man is toxic or a woman is toxic to you. Or hell, when you're the toxic ass person, get your ass in some therapy and do better. Because it ain't always the other person's fault. That's my take on it. Whoever wants to jump in, and y'all chime back in the comments and tell us, what do you think? Why is mental health important? And what are you doing to prioritize your mental health? Me, I prioritize my mental health. I have a therapist. Yep, I got 2 whole ass degrees, got a PhD level education in counseling, and I still go to therapy with another therapist, because we all need somebody outside of ourselves to help us see things.
Yeah, I value mental health. One of the things that I do a lot, I get up about 4.
Speak up.
I get up about 4 a.m. every morning or every other morning, and I simply go out and I just walk. That's that thing that I like to do that keeps me mentally alert. It keeps me physically things working. And I'm here to tell you guys, I know if you having those problems with your Pennsylvania, those, when you get to walking, man, it makes you feel like you're 18 years old. I may not run the marathon or do a lot of things like I was 18, but we get to the end of the race. I tell you that.
It picks up, don't it?
We can get to the end of the race. And in addition to that, one of the things I do is this right here. I like to communicate with other folks, and I have a group, a small group of people, professionals that we speak with, and we do our what we call check-ins, and that's that when you're reaching out to someone and you having those discussions, talking about those things that are bothering you, that's affecting you, and how to move and progress and move forward. It is always about moving forward. People ask me how I'm feeling. I tell them I'm feeling fantastic. I tell them I hadn't had a bad day in probably 16, 17 years. And I'm gonna be honest, I can't even remember when the last time I had a bad day. Now, doesn't mean bad things doesn't happen to you. But the one thing you cannot control what happened to you, but you can control how you respond to it.
Yeah. And it also affects how we feel. I love the fact that you highlighted walking. So y'all know I'm always out on a hiking trail or walking trail. Like, it affects our physical well-being, how we feel, how's our heart pumping, how's our lungs moving air, how's our blood circulating, how's our liver functioning, how our kidneys are functioning, how's our digestive system moving, right? Every part of us is affected by how we feel. What we feel impacts what we think impacts what we speak impacts what we experience. And all of it impacts how we feel physically. What you got, Benny? Why is mental health important to you?
I think that you don't want nobody you can't mentally deal with.
Can't hear you.
No, I say because I think that mental health is very important, because one, you want to be able to navigate through life with somebody who you would consider to be stable.
Yeah.
Or somebody you can understand and maneuver this thing called life with. If they ain't mentally stable, and you know that off the front, up front, you can kind of navigate through that and either leave them alone or understand better what you're dealing with.
Yeah. I agree with that. Miss Gypsy.
And mental health, I believe that you cannot be in a healthy relationship with anybody until you're in a healthy relationship with yourself.
Right.
Because the one thing is that if you can't get along with you, why the hell would anybody else want to be bothered? And so get yourself seen about. Like, get your mental health in order. Go figure out what's wrong with you. Go figure out where did things start going left for you, because everybody has trauma. And that's the thing that you got to understand is everybody has trauma, but everybody doesn't deal with trauma the same way. Some people can bounce back, but it depends on how early you had trauma and things like that. For me, I journal, I blog, and because I blog about a lot of personal stuff, I blog anonymously. So I would give y'all my address, but I talk about real stuff.
Yeah.
And, and that defeats the purpose. If people who really know you in real life find your blog, then you start censoring yourself. Right. And so, so I blog, and that's how I get a lot of stuff out. And I have a therapist. And therapy is like the best thing that I ever did was to get a therapist, because there are things that I didn't even realize about me, about why I do things the way I do things, and why I move the way I move. And that's the thing, is that get to know you before you go and try to find somebody else to couple up with, because it's about the two shall become one, and that means two whole people, not two half people.
Yeah. And this is not saying that you have to be 100%. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's infallible, right? We're all messy, chaotic human beings. We're all learning every day. But at the end of the day, I go back to what Benny said. You should want somebody who's stable. And in order to desire that and require that of them, you should be willing to step up to that same standard for yourself and for them. Anything that we ask of another person, I'm a fan of, we should be willing to give it and operate in that reciprocity. But I also want to say that prioritizing your mental health also helps you to be able to have those uncomfortable conversations again, whether it's with your person, whether it's with your sex buddy, whether it's with your friends, your clients, your community, whoever. Life presents challenges. But like you said, even when things happen, you're equipped, right? Prioritizing your mental health means it doesn't have to take you down into the dumps and drag you every single time. You have coping skills. You have safe space to talk it through. You have trusted people to help navigate it with, that help you to be resilient and bounce back. Chandrita said mental health is everything, because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you provide for others? Right.
I love that, Chandrita.
Right.
I love it.
So at the end of the day, the better you are for you, the better you can be for your kids, your spouse, your parents, your family, your loved ones, your clients, your employees, your employers, your team members, your local community, whatever the thing is or things are that drive you, whatever your purpose is, your passions, all those things are made better and more accessible and easier and more joyful and peaceful. Again, it ain't that life is perfect and you're not going to go through, but you're able to respond with more resiliency, more bounce back, and you're able to negate some things, right? When you have health and wellness on your side, because you're able to see things and avoid them or respond differently, to be proactive and creative with how you engage in life. That being said, how can you tell when you need to get some help, right? That's the thing that some people, they just don't know how to self-check. Are you struggling to get out of the bed in the morning?
Right.
It may not be that you're depressed or anxious, but there may be something that's slightly off kilter that's weighing you down or preventing your mind from being able to rest when you sleep, to get restorative rest so that you can get up energized. A therapist can walk you through that and help you, block out or word is escaping me, work it out or rule out things so that you can get to the appropriate professional if they're not the right one, right? They can ask you different questions to help rule out things, to help you figure out what appropriate person do I need to be talking to. If you are the source of the argument all the time, if all your friends or your person or everybody around you is starting to tell you that you're changing, your personality's different, you know, how you're handling things, the things that you're saying is rubbing people the wrong way, everybody can't be lying. And you're the common denominator.
Yeah.
So that's another way to recognize you may need a safe space to be talking to somebody to work through some things, because there might be something pent up that you need to address, right? It could be daddy issues, mama issues, because that's a real thing to a lot of women and men are dealing with mama issues. Let's not put it all on the daddy, right?
Absolutely. A lot of us are dealing with mama issues.
Yeah. So, you know, that's another way to recognize that you need safe space to go get it out of your system. If you and your person are at odds all the time, y'all may need some couples therapy. Couples therapy is not just for married people.
And y'all may be both dealing with some unresolved childhood trauma, and that other person may be triggering you and not even know it.
Absolutely.
And that's the other thing too, is learn your triggers.
Yeah.
Learn your triggers.
Passive aggressive.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
SIP podcast. I hate to leave, but I got to move on to the next journey.
But wait, so before we go, y'all, I guess I was gonna leave y'all with
Wait. Let's hold up. Do you have a show coming up? Anything you want to holler at before you walk out?
I have a promotion to do tonight, and I have a show tomorrow that is July the 10th live at the Stardome. Go to BennyMac205.com, and you'll see all the information. All right, well, I see y'all.
See y'all next week.
And that's tomorrow.
I'm gonna kick back to you in 1 second, Gypsy. 2 more things to be aware of. Again, couples therapy.
Ben, I want to come. I'm sorry.
Again, couples therapy is not just for you if you're married, right? Couples therapy is all about working through and communicating in healthy ways with your person, but you also may not only need couples therapy, you may need individual therapy on top of that, because there may be certain things that you got to work through first before you can talk about it together. And lastly, understanding that you don't have to wait, and therapy is not only for you going when you're in active trauma, something's wrong, or you're having a crisis. Therapy can be a safe space for you to use for your self-care, to work through problems, address challenges, develop coping skills, figure out your gifts, decide your life purpose, navigate major changes like getting a divorce, getting married, having a baby, losing a child, taking a job halfway across the world, moving from your family. Therapy can be a safe place. Mental health sessions can be a safe opportunity, or wellness sessions can be a safe opportunity just to navigate life. Don't wait for your active crisis and trauma to go get help. Get help first so that you have a support system when life happens, because it inevitably will. 2 more comments, then I'm gonna kick it to you to close us out with a poem, Gypsy. Chandruda said, mental health is everything, because if you don't take care of yourself, how can you provide? I read that one. And then the kitchen is my sanctuary. I work through cray moments by cooking and baking, and my family and friends benefit from it. Amen. I'm with you when you right. Gypsy, go ahead and close us out. What did you want to say?
One more thing I wanted to say is and also address your grief. And grief isn't just when somebody dies. Grief can be when you lose a job, when you have a fire, when you have lost a pet, when you know, there's grief. Any kind of loss can be grief. And if you don't resolve your grief, you're gonna have a problem. So I'm gonna tell y'all about this man I met, because y'all had me thinking about this fine.
We got like 2 minutes left.
I got you. Smooth Hershey chocolate colored skin, perfect features and a cleft in his chin, punctuated by 2 exotic eyes. Ooh, he left me hypnotized. I mean, washboard abs and broad shoulders, and a nice package like a boulder. His clothes fit like body armor. I can tell you, he was a charmer. I swear to God, this man was fine. And that day, he got my mind and draws at the same time.
Hey.
My Nunu, and I tell you the truth, she got a mind of her own, and she's a bit uncouth. So my hips began to sway to and fro, and on my ass, I felt his bulge grow. She began to twitch and purr, trying to encourage something to occur. And this man did something to me, something erotic. I tell you what, I was feeling rather naughty. And long, sexy tongue ran over his lips, and his seduction followed its own script. Nothing more sensual than a skilled man. I mean, my knees felt weak as he grabbed my hand. He whispered, "Hold on, it's a bumpy ride. Don't tell me it's your first time." Not the first time, but it's never been like this. And I mean, his charms, I couldn't resist. Trust me, he's not always this rough, but you can handle it. You seem quite tough. I blushed as I squeezed my thighs a little tighter. I mean, sexy chocolate was a biter. I shifted my weight from left to right, trying to hide the fire he did ignite. I mean, my words came out like a stutter, and he had me melting like a block of butter. I need to get off, is what I said. That's my stop just ahead. I didn't want my ride to finish, but I felt his bulge start to diminish. He backed slowly and gave me room. I felt an explosion in my womb. I mean, he said, "You took that ride like a champ." And at that moment, I felt like a tramp. See, I used him for my own pleasure. Rolled my hips one more time for good measure. Slipped him my card because he had slaying power. Got mine during rush hour. I mean, during my morning commute, I turned MARTA into a house of ill repute. Between Airport and North Avenue, I was naughty and a little taboo, even if it was only in my mind. I need to thank Sexy Chocolate for a real nice ride.
Woo, woo. Come on.
Y'all nasty. I was commuting to work.
You're a nasty woman, man. You ain't riding the bus, man. You can't get like this. I'm catching a cab next time.
They got you want to go to Baltimore. That's what I'm talking about. Come on through.
I can't even hold the rails now. I gotta stand still.
First of all, Titi, you better.
That was really good.
You better do it.
I love your wordplay. Love it.
Y'all gotta keep on keeping on until she give us her grace in another play, but we will make sure that y'all know the details whenever she decides to do her thing. Okay. Until then, we're gonna make sure she keep giving y'all those points.
But every Tuesday, y'all come by, share, like, subscribe. Please tell your friends about us. We have a really good time. We have open conversation. As you can see, nothing is off limits. So just come on through.
Keep those comments coming.
Keep them coming. Take the opportunity to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, pop in them comments, baby. And I do have to give a shout out. When I was in DC a few weeks back, I met this guy named Ivan, and he was selling different t-shirts and different things. And this is the shirt that I grabbed from him. Okay. It's cute. And his website is down. He's making some updates, I believe, but he is on Instagram as Vast Vision DC. Vast Vision DC. VASTVISION Vast Vision DC. He will actually be a guest with us on the hot seat in a couple of weeks. I believe July 30th is what we're talking about right now. He has a story, y'all. He's gonna tell us how he hit the bottom and rebuilt and came back stronger. And he's in the game trying to help himself as a Black business owner and make a difference in his community. So I wanted to, again, give him a shout out. He does ship, okay? He has his own clothing line. This is just one of the t-shirts that he had. So again, I want to give him a quick shout out. Make sure that y'all hop in these comments. Even after we're done, y'all can still keep hopping in the comments. Real quick housekeeping tip before I let y'all go. After we are done being live on here, the comments post on the right side of the video if you're on your computer, but it takes about 24 hours. If you are on your phone, it should show up, hopefully up underneath the video. But again, you can always jump in the comments and keep the questions and the comments coming, and we'll respond back when we can. I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here with us, rocking with us every week, helping us to grow. Benny's already gone. Thank you, Gypsy, and thank you, old man, Mr. AKA Rodney. Okay.
We'll see you next Tuesday. Same bad time, same bad channel.